Hello everybody, welcome to my new guide. I am today going to be talking about something I've been experimenting with a little bit, which is warriors, but then instead of like the routes that I made in my initial warrior guide, which used heartless units, we have been playing a lot with savages and in fact brawnies as well, and swordsmen. It's a very flexible build, which is why it's so good. So to give you like a brief idea of the early game first, I've laid out the board that you're aiming for at level 4. It might even be worth rolling a little bit below interest to achieve this, because this board is super good at win streaking if you do get it around round 8. So this early on you get the power of the Bristleback 2, and the power of the Tusk with the Savages. Tusk with Savages is insane. You get this tanky line, right? Bristleback's a big tank. Kunkka's a big tank. The Warrior Alliance helps a lot in it. And you're just gonna sit here. You're gonna spend like no gold on leveling. And you're gonna keep rolling. You're gonna keep rolling like a maniac. And you're gonna try to 3-star your units. Now, what makes this build so good is that you're not looking to 3-star literally everything. You're looking to adapt to your lobby and adapt to the packs that you're getting. This is a very crucial point that you need to remember. Let's say you get everything. You won't have the bench space or the gold to actually accommodate for that most of the time. So in that case, you probably cut the Magnus. He's like your least important unit. But because Magnus is usually uncontested, he's actually a really good out to have. Furthermore, Empower, once you get the swordsman in, starts becoming really good because Cleave double dips into the swordsman buff. Now, aside from that, there is the jug and the bristleback component. This basically gives you a brawny setup, and I've had games where I get like 80 kills, right? Now, you know, with 2 brawnies, you get 5 per kill, but if they're 3-starred, you get 15 per kill, right? So when you have 80 kills, that's a lot of HP. That starts counting up, you know. It starts getting towards like 1,000 plus easily. Alright, then aside from that, you have the Kunkka. He can be hard contested by mages. Look out for that. Don't go too hard on Kunkka if he's too contested. And then you have Slaughter Tusk. These warriors, you don't need to like 3-star them both, right? But if you can 3-star like, let's say one of these warriors, 3-star one of the brawnies, and 3-star the Magnus, right? Your build will already be really solid. You'll have 3 good 3-star units to build your game around. Furthermore, this build can utilize so many different routes when you're leveling up later. I want to talk about that a little bit right now. Very quickly, before I forget, Underlord choices are pretty straightforward in this build. Let's Go Crazy is probably number 1 by a lot. If you get to your 3-star board, if you get your 6 savages, it's mighty good. It's insanely good. Also, when you do actually get 6 savages, Bomb or Hopkin himself also gets the right-click damage, which is funny. But it gives you extra control, it gives you an extra attack speed. It's just a buff to all your 3-stars. If you don't get that, any NO is great. Any NO is great. I want to very quickly clarify, do not pick Joel. All your units are melee. Maybe Lone Druid isn't, if you run that. But all swordsman units are melee. And aside from Lone Druid, all the savage units are melee. You're gonna have a very, like, bunched up front line, which is why I don't rate Necronomicon or Necrobook in this, because you just spawn Brill Bruisers that occupy spaces that your melee units need to actually reach. But, yeah. Take maybe Bombkin even, if you feel like there's a lot of knights, but just, I don't think an Essex can be justified. And Jol can never be justified. LGC is probably the best. Yoink is probably second best. AoA versus Bombkin is probably debatable. If you see a lot of hunters, it might actually be better to just go with Bombkin because, well, yeah, he is gonna get hooked, but at least he doesn't get, like, vigilanted down. I mean, realistically speaking, if there's a lot of hunters, your underlord is going to get hooked most of the time. So maybe picking Enno is just better at that point. But in conclusion, probably the ordering is let's go crazy over any Enno, and then you can pick Bombgun or Friendly Fire or Hopgun if you really want to. I don't necessarily think Friendly Fire Hopgun is the best because you already have damage, and all-out attack from Enno at least gives you control, and Yoink is just like a really good one to pick. So, if you do not get a single pirate hat, this is probably the most straightforward route you can go. You can also utilize the Spear Breaker, aside from like, let's say one of these two units, the Lycan or the Lone Druid. But in general, like, let's say you hit some 3 stars, not every single one of them, and you want to level. You have no pirate hats, bam. You end up 6 Savage with the triple swordsman. It feels pretty good playing this, right? Even if you do not have the like 3-star swordsman, you'd prefer having them, obviously, because giving them the buff from the swordsman is the most significant. But just having 6 savage, 6 sword, triple swords, triple warriors, the brawnies, like you start having this really meaty front line. And let's say you pair this with Let's Go Crazy, which I quite like doing. Your build will start accelerating in damage. It's super tanky, right? So you get this round that lasts a while, and you get a lot of right clicks out, and this damage just starts taking off. It's really good. I really do like it. Conversely, let's say you hit a pirate hat, or let's say you hit Pangolier on 6. You don't actually have to go for the 6 savages. You can go out of, let's say, Lone Druid and Lycan. Just play 4 savages, roll to complete Jug, Slaughterer, Kunkka. If the space is there, it's definitely good, right? However, there's one more interesting route that I experienced, aside from these 2 that I just quickly covered. And that is when you get pirate hats. I'll show that in a second. If you get 1 pirate hat, you can play the triple swordsman level 5 already by running Juggernaut plus Kunkka, right? Which is great, which is nice to have, because it means you don't need Pango immediately. You don't need to start rushing levels to get Swordsman. However, if you get 2 pirate hats, you start enabling even more options. One of which is going for the 6 swordsman with 4 savages, and potentially, right, I have 8 units on my field right now. If you were to make level 10, you could even play the 6 swordsman. To make things, the 6 savages, I mean, along with the 6 swordsman. Sorry. But to make it even crazier, something that I have actually had happen, and I will include footage, is when you get 3 pirate hats. Because the potential for you to play the 6 savage triple swords build that I showed you earlier, but then pairing it with 6 swordsmen is insane. You can get super crazy boards at that point. The damage amplification will be through the roof, and you will gain damage from all these right clicks. It's an extremely fun playstyle to play. I will cover items in the next segment, and then I will show you some footage from my games. On the screen, you should now see an item list that I put together. We'll quickly just go through it. So the tier 1 items: Chainmail, Talisman, Vitality Booster. This is one of the builds where you could argue maybe Gloves of Haste and Morbid Mask are good, right? If you get your 3-star units, you get attack speed, you get lifesteal, hooray, yay, great fun. But you gotta think about it like this. These items start being really good when your build's already 3-starred and when you should already be in a pretty good position. They don't really help you get there. My mentality around tier 1 items has always been like, they need to help you get to your comp. And they need to then not really be completely useless, which is why Chainmail and Talisman are in some regards better than like Vitality Booster, right? But Vitality booster gives you the bigger, like, early game boost. So there's an argument there, but at least, like, Chainmail and Talisman and Vitality Booster, they feel like good pickups even when you don't have your 3 stars yet. I think that's quite important. Then for the tier 2 items, you're still playing, like I showed you the 4 unit board, right? You're playing that for round 4 and round 8 when you get these tier 2 items. What you want there is like a Vanguard, because that synergizes really well with Warrior bonus and allows you to tank like crazy. What you want is a Halberd. It disarms, it has really big impact, like especially when there's few units, just disarming one of them can really save you around. The evasion is good. And you want Cape, because you're gonna have this fucking 3-star unit. You can run it on Jug, let's say. Jug gets fucking 50 kills. Bam! Cape gets crazy HP, and then you can give some HP to your team as well. But even if you're not running it on the Jug, your Tusk, for example, will have a lot of kills. When you're running Savages, they need to sustain, they need to live, they need to be able to attack and build up their strength, and then Walrus Punch or whatever the fuck, like, beat up the enemy that way, alright? So that's like the good tier 2 core. Now for tier 3 items, I don't think there's any item better for this build than the Pirate Hat. I think unless you get Silver Edge or Battle Fury, you should roll that pack. Like, bam, done. And even if you get Silver Edge and Battle Fury, if you already have a Pirate Hat, it can be really worth rolling like that pack to try and get a Pirate Hat still. The item is so good. It allows so many like interesting ways to play it. If you can get one at round 12, you can get the free swordsman in much sooner than you would otherwise. But even if you don't get it, like putting a Pirate Hat on your Bristleback, if he's 3-starred, he will turn into a machine. He can top damage so easily just off the back of a Pirate Hat, even with only 3 swordsmen. But you can make it 6 if you want it to be. Like, that's what makes this comp good. You have many routes. There's many playstyles. Battle Fury and Silver Edge are good for pretty obvious reasons, I would argue. Yes, Battle Fury doesn't give attack speed, but the cleave, the splash damage, actually synergizes quite well with the Savage bonus. I quite like it. And then you also have to consider that Swordsman double dips into cleave. So not only is the attack damage of the swordsman unit attacking first amplified, but afterwards the cleave damage is amplified as well, causing, double dipping, as we call it. And then Silver Edge is one of the most busted items in the game, has been for a while, and it synergizes extremely well with this lineup. You get HP, you get attack speed, and you get break. It's almost perfect. Then for tier 4, this one's a bit more interesting. So Butterfly and Moonshard are like obvious ones, right? You get attack speed or attack speed and evasion and damage. Yeah, arguably, like, Moonshard can be better if you don't feel like you need the evasion, but evasion is pretty good because I'm pretty sure that it just dodges Cadence Blade, which is one of your big opponents. We'll talk about that in a moment. Aside from that, I think Refresher and BKB are really situational, but they can be really good. If you have a Kunkka 3-star and you give it Refresher, great. Fucking godsend. If you're playing against mages, if you can get a Jug 3-star and a good 3-star unit with BKB, something like Tusk BKB or Slaughter 3 BKB, you can just kind of run over them, right? Because this Jug gets this magic invulnerability, and that's where mages really struggle sometimes. If there is one unit that is just straight up unaffected by you marching through to their backline, you can just go in, it's unaffected by their magic damage, just punch them out. Okay, and then tier 5s, the Horn of the L5 actually, it feels a bit like a meme, right? The little dino boy, he spawns, just starts building up a lot of damage. It's really good. I quite like it. Then Vladimir's armor and lifesteal on your entire team of tanky units that do a lot of right-click damage, sign me up. Probably the best tier 5. Aside from that, you have Satanic, which is probably the second best tier 5. If you can sustain, you can win rounds, right? Most of the time, that's sort of how this build works. You're looking to out-sustain your opponent while you're building up your damage. This is why Brawny is quite good in it. Warriors is quite good in it, right? If you can give this to your hyper carry, sometimes it will be Jug, sometimes it will be like Slardar, sometimes it will be Tusk. Usually it won't be Magnus, he's just there to give cleave and everything. Usually it won't be Bristle either, he just needs Pirate Hat or something. Like, it can be so fucking satisfying to watch this one unit regen up, heal up, keep fighting, keep dealing out these punches, and just beat down the enemy lineup. I quite like this build. This is the most passionate I've been about a build for a while. It's like healers to me, or Elsie Night Sins. I think it's underrated. I will say that some of the success that I've had in it have been in custom rule lobbies, right? I have to yield. I will also be showing you gameplay that is partially or entirely from custom rule lobbies where barricades and cadence aren't really a thing. I'll try to include some where I am facing those builds though, and hopefully beating them and showing you what happens. But like, this build does struggle against Refresher Tide 2 and a Cadence Medusa behind barricades. But one of the reasons why I actually think that it has a chance is because this boat is really good against that build, and the RP is really good against that build. And I'm pretty sure I have some footage for you guys where I do beat some level hunters into the ground. You just become this very like tanky, this fucking tanky menace in the lobby. You just run over people. And it's not just about the endgame 1v1. I also want to stress this. The level 4 build I showed you, where you have Bristle 2, Kunkka 2, Tusk 2, Slaughter 2. If you get that, you're putting so much pressure on these level hunter builds because most of the time they cannot kill you. They do not have the firepower in the early game yet. So you're putting more pressure on them. You're taking HP away from them. I think it's a really good build. I think it's better than Heartless Warriors. If it's uncontested, and if it's contested, unlike Heartless Warriors, I feel like you have better chances for different outs. You can focus more on the brawnies if your warriors are contested, and you can focus more on the warriors if your brawnies are contested. Also, it has a pretty free flow element to it. Let's say you get a good start to it, you can also still keep the Heartless units for Heartless Warriors, and you can keep Snapfires and Beastmasters if you see them to play actual normal brawnies, and if you want to, you can even keep some like Phantom Assassins and Bounty Hunters, and you can play brawny Swordsman Sins should the need arise. You're not locked into anything. If you watch me actually play, like, I can't show you in the video because it's not very interesting, but if you watch me play on Twitch, you will see me horde all of these warrior units, brawny units, assassin units, probably some trolls, and I'll just be curving into different variants of like a similar subset of units, like every 2 rounds, while I'm figuring out what is best for the lobby, what is best with the units I have. That is the kind of gameplay that I would encourage. Don't just play this build. Also play Heartless Warriors. Also play Brawnies. Also play Brawny Swordsman Sins. And just engage, jump on it when you see you have units for one of these specific variants. But this is one that is set up really well by the game. And I think that if more people would play it, they would also see what I see. That is actually a really strong build. I've given you my 2 cents. I've given you my opinion and my views. Now to back it up with some gameplay. Some of it has been pretty high roll. Not gonna lie. Getting triple pirate hats on your swordsman, brawny, warriors, savages is not gonna be traditionally what happens. However, getting 1 or 2 is already really good. It's never bad picking up a pirate hat. So it's never bad going for the triple pirate hat either. If you do manage to get it, it allows for some pretty crazy stuff. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay segment, and thank you for watching.
What?
Alright.
What's this about?
Okay, I have a lot of time. I'm gonna go 3-star something. This might blow up in my face. One sec.
Let's do this. Speedy R buttoning. Oh, there it is. Lardar's done.
That was easy.
Ooh. That's a good shot.
Yeah, it flees on my bench space. That was honestly what I needed the most. That's like my #1 problem when playing this build. I run out of bench space all the time. It just keeps happening.
We're gonna see triple pirate hat this game, I think. That's gonna be the way.
I will reroll every item around full. I will reroll Silver Edge. I will reroll anything.
Will you reroll a Necrobook?
Yes.
Oh, baby. Alright.
Pilot hat or Riot? No pilot hat, match.
Oh.
Easy Katka, dude.
Never punished. What the fuck was that? That was so stupid. That was like the worst chance you could possibly have of hitting that too.
Oh my god.
Wow. It's quite a lot of progress. I mean, we got the 777 of 9 right now, which is that's a little unfortunate. 8 out of 9, 8 of 9 with 0 gold plus 15 points. That's right. That's the true ethical. Oh, never mind. We're actually hitting things. Oh, here we go.
Easy game.
Okay, guys. Never mind. He swiped the credit card in that brief intermission. He's just like, hold on 1 second. I need to focus. Ka-ching. Okay, we're back. Don't even worry. Jug upgrade. Roll into pirate hat. Okay.
Oh my god.
Jesus fucking Christ. This is like an arcade machine right now. Look at this. R button is the way to play in this lobby.
We did it, Reddit.
We'll just not get punished.
Alright.
Hey, look at Kunkka 2. Oh. Nice casual Bristle 3 showing up there.
I'm primarily looking at Pangolier right now. Also, I'm just saying in advance, if I don't get a pirate hat in the next item round, I will reroll that influenced.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, guys, Gentleman's Club plus 15 points.
What's up? Alright.
This is a thing. This is a thing that's happening.
You guys are not prepared for my M board here.
What is next on the board here? Okay. Guys, you know that thing that I was saying where it's just like, swipe the credit card? What the fuck is this? Oh my god, this is like the most Yu-Gi-Moto plot armor fucking shit I've ever seen in a game of Underlords. I can't believe whoever's like this is Yugi, everyone else in the game is Kaiba. This is what happened. It's like, oh, what do I need next? I'll just top deck my pirate hat. Oh, look at that, I did that. And now I'm gonna combine that with this fucking Pangolier, who I will then top deck right after that. Digi scam, top decking and wrecking. Pre-recorded, that's right. We actually took this and made a nice CGI film for you guys. This is like pre-scripted and everything.
Oh my god. If he hits the Sark, it's gonna be scary. Oh! Okay.
Shit!
Alright.
Buckle up, boys and girls. We have an actual game now. Okay, we gotta adjust positioning here. Ooh.
Alright. Let's see how this goes. Maybe I should have corner baited something for the Ember.
I'm waiting for that Ember to just like one-shot this cluster. Oh, he didn't really do it.
No, not particularly. And the Ember now drops. So it depends a bit on how this Slark now does. It's not being rooted. Oh, okay, now it's rooted.
Oh no, the lone druid.
Bam! GG's.